Right, welcome back guys to another video, and what we've got for you today is, as you can see behind me, is a Subaru WRX STI. Now these cars, this is the latest, the new generation Scooby, so they've dropped the Impreza name out of the actual name, and so it's just a Subaru WRX STI 2.5 turbo. This one's had a few modifications which I'll go through in the rest of the video. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy the video guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Performance Lifestyles, check us out on Instagram performance_lifestyles, and we're on Facebook as well, Performance Lifestyles. And if you'd like your car featured, drop us an email, pflifestyle@hotmail.com, and we will be more than happy to accommodate. But for today we've got this Scooby, so if you're a Scooby guy, JDM guy, check it out. So yeah, we'll catch you outside the car. So here it is, the Subaru Impreza not the Subaru Impreza, I keep calling it Impreza, it's not Impreza, Subaru WRX STI. And as you can see, this one's had a few little aesthetic touches done to it, as well as some performance mods. So yeah, we'll go through all of them in the video. But yeah, this newer shape, to be fair, I wasn't a big fan of it initially, but after seeing a few, and they do actually look quite nice. They do grow on you. It's like when the Scoobies turn to hatchbacks, and a lot of people were, you know, don't like them because they're not a saloon anymore, and then they eventually did grow on you. And this is the same story with these. It was just a squared up front end as opposed to the rounder sides, but no, this is actually quite a nice looking car, and it's got some discreet touches alongside the green stuff. So yeah, it's got a few green decals, obviously Pro Drive and stuff. I would have been a 20, I think it's a 15, sorry, but 64. So it's got the DRLs down here, but these have been wired up as well. So these lights here, I remember on the older cars, the hatchbacks, you could buy JDM lights that had this big C on the outer side, which actually did look quite nice. And these come with it as standard. So 17 inch, I believe they are, no, 18 inch wheels. Brembo calipers. These are badged as Brembos, but I believe normally they're not badged as Brembos, but they are Brembos. And again, black with the green on here, green Subaru decals on the side, decals, whatever you want to call them. And this one is like a gloss black sort of car, but it has got matte black, the Subaru decal on the side. And again, you only really notice it when you're looking for it. It won't just be straight in your face, which is what the owner of this car wanted, something a bit discreet and a bit different, and you have to look for it, and you certainly won't notice it at a glance. And again, Colin McRae and Ken Block, both who have obviously passed away. So yeah, the looks on this car, it's a very aggressive sort of looking car, especially with the big wing on the back. And this one's got the stiffies, I think they're called, stiffeners, wing stiffeners, because I remember I used to have a Hawkeye with them on, and they are actually quite nice. And then it's got a lip running along the back spoiler, and again, standard diffuser on the back with these fins, which I believe was a big thing on a lot of cars after this. And but yeah, and the center fog light. This does come with stainless steel exhaust system, quad tailpipes, twin on each side, WRX STI. And yeah, as you can see, the missing Impreza. Oh, actually, I've just noticed this. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. So onto the inside. Again, first thing, as I mentioned on all of my videos, is the kick plate. Now this one's got an aftermarket one here, which says Subaru and it's shiny. And then it's got standard STI. You can't even see it from there. Kick plate there. But yeah, the first thing you actually do realise is, if you're used to other Scoobies and the older Subaru Imprezas, this one does look way more modern than the rest. It's even got a push button start, the boot, traction control. Now that was a big thing, because previous Scoobies never had that, or a tyre pressure monitor. So with this being a more modern sort of car, it's got that obviously. And then obviously the steering wheel, multifunction steering wheel, which the UK hatches did have, JDM's never. And again, you get the Subaru half leather and Alcantara seats, which aren't bucket on these, but they still do, they've got very, very big sort of firm bolsters on them, so they do hold you in quite nicely. It's they are quite a nice seat, to be fair. And let's go on to the rest of the inside. This cockpit is just way more modern. You could tell, you know, you're sitting in more of a new age sort of car, as opposed to the previous the predecessors, which were, I mean, in 2023 they are a bit dated, but most people don't buy Scoobies because of the mod cons on the interior and stuff, and yeah, which is, I'm one of them, because if you have a Scooby, it's for performance and the way it delivers the power. But yeah, with it being more of a modern car, it's got the carbon fiber center console, the heater controls here, AC, stereo. I believe the later cars did have an option of sat nav. Do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please do, yes, correct me. But yeah, this one's not got sat nav, but it's got the CD player, and again, carbon fiber on the actual dashboard there. Alcantara, with black Alcantara with red stitching on the actual door card, and obviously your window controls and chrome handles there, and a pocket. And again, you get your STI mats. 6-speed gear knob, which, because it's a 6-speed car clearly, and your STI badge here. I know on the hatchbacks, I believe this did light up, but I'm not too sure if it does on this. And again, there's loads of STI badging everywhere, which was quite a common thing with the previous cars as well, which is just in case you forget what car you're driving one day, and they will remind you, because everywhere you look, it'll just say STI, STI, STI. And the only time you probably hate it is if you've got one. That's an STI, not the car. But yeah, and it's got the standard SI drive, which I believe is the same thing as the previous models. So you got the sports sharp on this side, you got the sport there, and the intelligent. So you push it in for intelligent, and then it's a bit more of like an eco-friendly sort of driving mode. This, I believe, is the same as the previous model. So you got a couple of cup holders in there, and then an armrest again, which is Alcantara with red stitching. And they are a 5-seater car, and obviously, as you can see, the little homies are sitting in the back there, Scoobies, and STI decals on the actual headrest as well, which is a nice touch, I think, because the rear, there's nothing STI on the actual seats apart from like a little embossment on the headrest. So just to add to that STI theme that's going on, because it's an STI, it's actually quite good to have. And then you got your black headlining as well, which is it's actually a very, very nice cockpit. You don't get this sort of stuff on the previous cars, but yeah, on these it's actually a very, very nice touch. And then you get your 8,000 RPM, so 6.5 to 6 3/4 to 8,000 red line, and the speedometer does go to 180 miles per hour, which I believe on paper they are down as late 150s, but I'm sure they can do more, and especially if you've tuned them, then they will definitely do more than that. It is a 2.5 EJ225, I think it is, 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with a 4-wheel drive system, and I believe it is symmetrical on this, but you can adjust the power with this actual iDrive system here. So yeah, I mean, what we'll do is we'll show you under the bonnet, and then we'll go for a quick little drive and hand the car back over to its owner. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyle. Check us out on Instagram, Performance_Lifestyles, and Facebook as well, Performance Lifestyles. And like I said, if you'd like your car featured, please do drop us an email, pflifestyle@hotmail.com. And if you're into Scoobies and stuff, we've got plenty of Subarus on our channel, and we have got plenty of content to come, so watch this space. We've got loads of other cars on there as well, so it's not just Scoobies, Germans as well, so do check them out. But yeah, we'll show you under the bonnet, then we'll go for a drive. All right, so there it is, the EJ205, the 2.5 litre turbocharged engine. This one's obviously had a few green touches done to it just to match the outside, and I think they do actually suit the car quite right, because it's got all the green decals on the outside. But yeah, it's got a Mishimoto intake, which is a decent sort of system, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see what that sounds like, because you can probably hear it sucking in all the air. GFB, I believe it is, blow-off valve. And again, I'm sure we've got a video up on our channel with one of them on there, and they do sound quite nice. But yeah, generally speaking, the Scooby engines, they don't come with like a plastic cover over the top covering all the stuff up, because these engines are boxer engines and they work slightly differently. So to a new person to Scoobies, it can look like the engines do look like a bit of a mess, but that's just the way they are, and they've always been like that, whether it's the 2 litre or the 2.5 turbo, intercoolers at the top, not front mount like a lot of cars. If you run bigger power on these, forged or strokered or anything more, even more power, generally speaking, the front mount does get you more cold air. But again, if you're running standard stage 1 sort of power, anything below 400, I think it's perfectly fine. Top mounts there's nothing wrong with them, they serve the purpose. And obviously with them having the actual bonnet vent there as well, it actually does feed in a lot of cold air to the intercooler. So yeah, so what we'll do is then we'll go for a quick little blast, and then we'll conclude the video. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and like I mentioned, check us out on all of our socials and subscribe to our channel. Help us grow. Click on that like button as well, it helps with the algorithm and stuff. So yeah, help us grow. We'll catch you on the drive. So onto the drive of this Subaru WRX STI. And this genuinely, like I said, this is the first time I've actually driven one of these new age Scoobies, and you could tell the difference. They are a lot more drivable as a daily car if you're not really wanting something that's a bit hardcore. And I know the normal Scoobies aren't that hardcore compared to your Specs and stuff, but they still are compared to your German equivalent, your rivals, their rivals and stuff. Whereas these, you can actually tell they are a modern Scooby, and yeah, it drives actually very, very nice. The clutch is very stiff compared to the older cars, but again, that's just the characteristics of the clutch on one of these cars. Steering wheel, the flat bottom steering wheel makes a massive difference. Honestly, it makes such a big difference, because normally you're used to rounder wheels, but a lot of your German cars nowadays have the flat bottom, and this actually does look quite good, and it's a very decent chunky size to hold as well. And again, same with the seating position. Seating position is perfect. They're adjustable seats anyway, so nowadays there's no problems. I did drive a I think it was an A45 one time a little while back, and just to get along with it, the seating position wasn't very central. It almost looked like you were pointing that direction slightly, which doesn't really go very well when you're trying to drive a car. So, but yeah, this actually does drive nice. The dials, the speedo, all the cluster, it's modern. It's very modern. But the one thing that you will not forget that you're driving a Scooby is that burble. It's got that boxer burble, and it sounds good, especially with the modifications this car's got. At the minute we're driving it in sports mode, so what we'll do, we'll put it into sports sharp. Yeah, it livens up quite nicely. Sounds nice. Sounds actually very nice. And with this one being remapped, it is around the 330 odd brake horsepower. It pulls quite nicely. Even there, that was only a general gradual sort of pull in third gear, and traffic. Yeah, it pulls nicely, but that burble, half the experience when driving these cars is the noise, and this car doesn't let you down on that side of things. It's fast, it's quick, it's more than quick enough to handle a lot of cars on the road. As with most Scoobies, you're probably not going to find the Golf Rs, you know, map Golf Rs will be quicker, DSGs, automatic gearboxes, but they don't drive as well as these. They don't feel very connected to the driver. They're very, I don't know, I just don't. This is why I rate the M2 competition quite a bit, because it gives you that Jap car feel, and it makes you actually feel like you're driving something that's got some power behind it, and it's connected. It does what you tell it to do, and this is what this feels like. So yeah, just another little boot on these twisties. That won't get too carried away, but the grip on these cars honestly is phenomenal. As long as you don't play about with the center DC-CD and push too much power to the back, especially if you're a novice. Like I mentioned on previous videos, even like the M2 Comp that I've got, I'm no expert rear wheel drive driver, so I don't want to push it too much. But yeah, you can adjust the power on these as well, send more power to the back than the front. But at the factory they are a symmetrical four-wheel drive system, which does help, and the way it grips and it just puts down the power is amazing. And Subaru Imprezas, they are well known for that as well, hence why the rallying pedigree and the rallying background, and they didn't win rallying championships for no reason. These cars are an absolute blast. And if you've never had the opportunity to drive one, whether it's the old age, it was a classic, or a new age one, then you really are missing out. I'm not even going to say you might be missing out. You are missing out, because they are such an amazing car. Seriously serious car. And like I mentioned with this one, you've even got a digital speedometer on there. It tells you when to shift gear as well, and now that's something new for Scoobies. I know some of the older, the hatches and the saloons did have like a little triangle in intelligent mode, which wasn't that in your face, but on this it actually tells you, and it actually tells you what gear to go into as well, which is quite a good thing. Again, it's a modern Scooby, and a very, very good one at that, to be fair. So even like driving over these bumps, the suspension is quite firm, but it's nothing back-braking or jaw-breaking firm. Certain cars with coilovers are actually quite, yeah, they're really bad. They'll rattle your teeth out if you've got fake teeth in. But, which a lot of people, unfortunately nowadays, yeah, you know, the turkey jobs and stuff, but your teeth will be falling out. But the thing is, this is actually factory standard, nothing that you can't live with, but it's, and considering we live in places nowadays where, you know, the ramps are literally everywhere, you can't get away without them, and being on the topic of using this as a daily car, I think it's ideal. If you've got kids, they'll buzz off it, because you'll get a little crackle every now and then, and you get that burble. And kids, as long as it's a loud car, yeah, they'll buzz off them, especially if they're petrol heads. Honestly, this thing is fun. If it never had the burble, I think, like with the predecessors as well, I don't think they are fun to drive as such. Well, they are fun, but they're even more fun when they sound loud and they're just ASBO. They've got an ASBO sort of thing going about them. The whooshing and the popping and the stuff, and a lot of people don't understand that in this day and age, because everybody's after refinement and comfort and quietness and stuff. But if you think like I do, and I think there's a lot of petrol heads that do, I think this is the thing. These cars are so much more fun to drive than your average hot hatch or performance car of this era. And like I've mentioned a few times now, they are quicker, yes, but quickness isn't always the fun. The fun is the feel that you get from them, and these do provide that feel factor. And amazing, honestly amazing. These cars are fantastic. That's to sum it up, these cars are fantastic. They won't disappoint you if you've never driven one. Like myself, I've never driven one of these before, and here in this, you know, 2015 car, it's awesome. I actually may even after this consider one myself, because I've liked them, but I've never had one, never driven one, and you know, got offered this car, so it's such a pleasure, and it's a very, very good car, very nice car to drive. Like I said, the speedometer, the whole feel, everything is, yeah, it gives it that modern look, modern touch, but with the classic old school feel, and I think it sits quite well. Right, I think that's enough for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. You know, a quick little thingy of this new age Subaru WRX STI, running stage 1 power. So yeah, and it's a joy to drive. So if you're looking to get one, get one. And yeah, like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles. Check us out on Instagram, performance_lifestyles, and we're on Facebook as well, Performance Lifestyles. And if you'd like your car featured, turn that camera off, pflifestyle@hotmail.com, and we will be more than happy to accommodate. But as per usual, guys, stay safe, and we will catch you on the next video.